So many people would say, yeah, well, I mean, I can also do ads, but advertising doesn't build trust. It's actually the opposite. So there is another study from Nielsen, I think, that advertising, they lost a lot of credit, a lot of trust over the past years, just because of, I mean, think about Facebook. How many ads are we going to be bombarded?
Welcome to the Extraordinary Being Movement, where we inspire you to take action, influence you for change, and motivate you for success. This is your host and coach, Len DeCarmine here, and we have an exciting show for you today. We're going to be talking about public relations, the most effective strategy to become visible in your industry as a thought leader to build trust and credibility. So this is a show you do not want to miss. We have Simone Sauter. She is a PR specialist and publicity coach, best-selling author, and a tech nerd. She helps coaches to get more clients, being featured in the media so that they can rise above the noise online, become a go-to expert in their niche, skyrocket their income, and make a bigger impact. Simone has built her online coaching business in the relationship niche, specializing in breakup coaching solely with PR, and became Germany's #1 breakup coach in less than 2 years. Her website organically reached more than 1 million people within 2 years, and she created an advertising value of more than 3 million euros. Simone has been featured in Cosmopolitan, InStyle, Closer, and many other amazing media outlets. She has been on several podcasts, radio shows, as well as on TV, and we have her here today on the Extraordinary Being Movement. Simone, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, we see celebrities do things that they shouldn't be doing, but then we get the PR specialists like yourself that come in and kind of clean things up a little bit. Is that how that works?
Depends on what they do, yeah.
What they do, I love
it. So Simone, tell us a little bit more about yourself. How did you get into this? I mean, I definitely want to hear more about this breakup, you being a breakup coach too, but our real focus today is about, you know, public relations. So share us a little bit more about who you are and what makes you so unique.
Well, I mean, to tell you the entire story, I have to actually go back to my breakup and divorce business. So I make it really quick. So in 2012, my ex left me after a 10 years relationship, completely out of the blue, had a new partner within 4 weeks. She moved in with him. I was busy, you know, thinking about getting married, having kids and all these kind of things. Then I went through a really, really, really rough breakup for 2 years, and I basically went through hell. But that was a time when I discovered myself, and when I found my spiritual path. And after these 2 years, I decided that I wanted to help other women to go through this much faster, because I did a lot of things that were really wrong. And then I decided to basically build this business. And I was still an employee, working as a PR manager for the world's biggest online dating website, which I will not mention. And got myself 6 months time to really learn how to build an online business, because I had a PR background. I always liked tech stuff, but I didn't know how to build a website. And and after 6 months I jumped. And then I basically started my business doing what every marketing guru told me, right? Write a blog, do a podcast, do social media, do this, do that. And I did that. And I didn't even thinking about doing PR, even though it was my background, right? So, but it became very exhausting because, if you run a business and you do all the things, and then you also try to do ads, and you waste a lot of money there, you burn a lot of money there because you can't make them work. So at a certain point, I was so frustrated that I said, okay, I'm just going to do this differently. I just, bet everything on PR. I'm going all in there. And that's what I did. So, and basically, because it was my background, I knew what I have to do. I did a lot of mistakes, which I probably will talk about later. But yeah, basically within 18 months, I have, been featured everywhere. I got a book deal with a huge German publishing house, created an advertising value of 3 million euro, and all these things that you also said in the intro.
Yeah.
And what happened is that, so I started my business in 2014, and now it's 2021. So, yeah, there are, well, I mean, 6, 7 years that I met a lot of entrepreneurs who had really great gifts, especially coaches, right? Great gifts. And they didn't really know, and they don't know how to get themselves out there, right? So, and they always ask me like, how did you do this? I want to learn this as well. So I thought like, okay, well, probably I, should make a business out of that. And then I started this as a side business besides my divorce and breakup coaching business. And it took off pretty quick. And then I stopped doing my coaching in the breakup coaching niche. Just sell my products there. And now I completely focus on my PR business. So, and that's how I got into that. And I do this because I love to help people grow and to become visible and to create this ripple effect. Because if I help them to reach their ideal client, we create this ripple effect and we can make the world a little bit better. So basically, there are 3 things that you can pitch to a journalist.
Okay.
So the first thing is a story. So a story is emotional, or it evokes emotions. It's relatable. It's timely. It's memorable. So, and they work particularly well if you make yourself vulnerable. So I shared with journalists that my ex left me after a 10 years relationship, and he had a new partner within 4 weeks. So I demystified all these shame and pain and unworthiness, or feeling of unworthiness. And that's how like a lot of my clients connected with me. And it's not surprising, or it wasn't surprised that all my clients have been left by their partner, like 95%. And most of them also had a new partner then, right? Or they were done for someone else, basically. This is how I would say. And, they came to me because they knew that I will not judge them and that I feel how they feel, right? I can, relate to them. And so, that's the first thing. So that's a story, for example, and I mean, there are a lot of stories, personal stories, business stories. There are a lot of things that you can share with a journalist that are interesting. The second thing is your expertise, right? So a lot of journalists look for experts. That's what I said already. So they really want to pick your brain and, that you share what you know, share information with them. And that's another way how to get featured. That's also a great way how to be a contributor. And then the third thing that works really well is sharing something contradictory, something really having a strong opinion. So what I pitched a lot is why everybody should suffer from heartache at least once in their lifetime. So you read this and then you're like, what? Like, why? Who would want to suffer from heartache, and why would this be a good thing? And I'm convinced about that this is a good thing, right? So you also have to have this opinion. Don't come up with something contradictory and you're actually convinced of it. So, but that's what I really think, right? If you suffer from heartache, it really helps you to find yourself, to find, to find your values. And okay, we don't talk about heartache anyway. So that's what I pitched. Or then also, if you send press releases, your PR really sucks. So there's also some like PR, because everybody thinks PR is about press releases, right? And it's not. Of course, as I said, if you work in a huge company, in your household name already, they work because they see the name and they think, oh, let's see what they have to tell. And it doesn't work for a coach. So basically that's it. Story, expertise, and a strong opinion. That's something that you can pitch.
No, I absolutely love that. What else is in the process? Are we missing anything that we haven't asked you that we should be asking you?
No, we have so the first step is create your media list and find the journalist who covers your topic. The second thing is find your story angle, which is story, expertise, or a strong opinion. The third one is your bulletproof pitch, right? So you pitch the journalist. The fourth thing is your performance, right? So that's either the guest post as a contributor or the media interview. And the fifth step is the promotion, right? So the really to leverage the media coverage. That's the entire process. And you build the credibility, you become the authority, and you also build trust. And trust is so crucial for every entrepreneur, but especially as a coach, because you, as a coach, you are the product. And there was a recent survey from Edelman, like a really huge PR agency, and they said that 81% of the people need to trust a brand before they buy. So now this is trust a brand that generally, right? Now, if you think of coaches, that percentage is much higher because, as I said, you are the product, right? Or as an entrepreneur, right? Or consultant, whatever you are, whoever you are. So trust is really big. And so many people would say, yeah, well, I mean, I can also do ads, but advertising doesn't build trust. It's actually the opposite. So there is another study from Nielsen, I think, that advertising, they lost a lot of credit, a lot of trust over the past years, just because of, I mean, think about Facebook. How many ads are we going to be bombarded with, right? And all these, I mean, my timeline obviously is full of coaches, you know, because that's what I look at. And so, but I see all these people and everybody promise you the same thing, right? I give you more money, I give you more clients, I give you more this, I give you more this. And yes, that is, you know, I can say this as well from me. But if I say this in an ad, that's what I say about myself. And I can't say anything about myself because I'm the greatest, you know, I'm the most amazing coach out there, right? So, but if someone else says that, someone like a media outlet, that's a third party endorsement that people often underestimate, and they shouldn't, because, you know, if you get featured, I don't know, in InStyle or Cosmopolitan as the breakup coach, then I obviously need to know my stuff, right? I thought of another word. So yeah, that's basically how it is. Yeah.
It kind of sounds like the chicken and the egg.
What you need to have in place is a website and content. If you don't have time to publish content on a regular basis, I always advise to have 6 to 8 pieces of content on your website with really your core topics, like with your expertise, where you really showcase who you are and what you do, right? So, and that's it. That you don't need more to pitch a journalist. And that's also what people learn with me. So if you don't have content yet, that's not a problem because you learn this with me. But this is the foundation. And then you can reach out to a journalist. What a lot of people think is I need to be the expert to get featured in the media, which is not true, because you become the expert by being featured in the media. So you don't have to have a book. You don't have to have a huge social media following. And no, also not if you want to get featured in Forbes and all these huge magazines. You know, what you have to have in place is an amazing story. That's it. An amazing story, and you need to find the right person talking to. And then the spiral goes actually the other way around, because then once you get featured, and let's say you want to publish a book, then either you are as lucky as I was, you know, that the publishing house approaches you and offers you a book deal, like what happened with me. Or if that doesn't happen, which doesn't have to, then you pitch the publisher or the publishing house. And when you can say, I have been featured there and there and there and there, it's much easier for them to give you a book contract or give you a book deal, because you are somebody already, right? So it all starts, and obviously I'm biased, but it all starts with media coverage, right? So if you really have this third party endorsement, this credibility, then it's so much easier for you also to get speaking gigs. I mean, look at all the TEDx speakers. That no TEDx speaker has not been featured anywhere. They all have been featured somewhere, you know, because there are so many people out there who pitch or who want to be a TEDx speaker. So they can choose, right? And whom do they choose? The people who appear as the biggest expert, as the, you know, most experienced person. And this just really is also, obviously you also need to know your stuff, but this is also your media coverage.